So, welcome back to another video. Today, we'll be talking about the clown himself, the Joker. And I'll be covering I'll at least try to cover every iteration of him, from the comics all the way up to the movies and even the animations. So, let's get into it. So, the first Joker I'm going to be talking about was his very first appearance from Batman #1. So, from the very beginning, this guy was a psychopath. He was a psychopath. And so from the very beginning, the Joker was a psychopath, a murderer. He was a killer. And yeah, he was your typical criminal. He was your typical comic book villain type. The Joker has been a killer ever since the first comic. So another version of the Joker I want to talk about. The second Joker I want to talk about is the Joker from Batman 251 comic. He gets, he's pretty much the same Joker. I mean, other than it's pretty much same appearance. He has different hair. And, he's up to your typical Joker stuff. I think he's more violent. I mean, all this research I'm pretty much doing last minute. I want to get this video to you guys, and I want you guys to enjoy it. And the Joker, he's getting some more scuffles with the Batman. He's more deranged, or even just as deranged as he's always been. And yeah, I think he's a pretty good Joker. Another Joker I'm excited about is the Joker adaptation from The Killing Joke. Now, with this Joker, we get into more of his psyche, a little more to why he's so mental. But yeah, this Joker is just straight up insane. We dig a little more into his psyche, and I think this is the first time him and the Batman has actually shared a laugh together. Like, Batman actually found him funny for once. We see a theme common with all his origin stories, except for the 2019 adaptation, which I'll be covering later in this video. He gets dumped into a vat of acid. His skin turns white. He's scarred up. He becomes insane. The usual. But turns out, and I think I missed this on one of them. I don't know which one it is, but he was actually the Red Hood before he got dumped into the acid and became the Joker. And I just found that pretty cool. I didn't know that. But I mean, his origin stories depends, according into Batman Beyond. I think that was, can't remember. But I think according to that one, he was a comedian who couldn't get laughs, so he decides to become a supervillain. I can't remember from which one that is, but let's move on. I mean, the Joker is more psychotic in this one. Let's move on to some of the animation ones, because I think he gets straight up downright despicable and evil in those. So in animated series, he does some pretty heinous things, like paralyzing Commissioner Gordon's daughter. I think that was his daughter or his niece. I don't know, but he paralyzed her. I think in one of the comics, actually, he shot her dead in a room full of babies. All the babies just crawled all over her body. I promise you, it's a real comic. You can go look it up. I just can't remember from which it is from. But the Joker has always been a pretty sick and insane individual. And he's one of those villains where, like, you don't know what to expect. He's a pretty good villain. He's a pretty iconic villain. And the animated series, one time he had Commissioner Gordon on this sick and twisted and deranged amusement park roller coaster, and the Joker's just a pretty insane guy. So another Joker I want to talk about is Joker from Batman Ninja. Now this one I have not really gotten into because I've never seen Batman Ninja, to be honest. Probably should have. But he looks more like of a monstrous type supervillain from what I've seen. And he pretty much looked like the goofiest dude to ever walk the planet, in my opinion. You know. But he walks with a sword. You know, he probably got all types of weapons in his arsenal. Who knows? His fans are probably weapons that he's holding. I don't know too much about this Joker, so I can't really say much. But let me know down in the comments. Another Joker I want to talk about is overall what I think is the most iconic Joker, in my opinion. But not the most, well, the most out of the animated series, and it's the one where he has a relationship with Harley Quinzel, otherwise known as Harley Quinn. And he just does downright most crazy stuff. Like, he pushes her out a window because he's so obsessed with catching Batman. And he does some other crazy stuff too that I know of. But the one who I think that tops that Joker is the Joker from What's Under the Red Hood. Pretty sick. Besides beating Jason Todd with a crowbar and then blowing up the building he was inside of, this dude, sick. He was straight up sick, and I think he got his just desserts when Jason stabbed a rod through his eye. The next Joker I want to cover, I'm gonna cover like some from the movies. Now, from the movies, our first movie adaptation of Joker was not our first appearance we see from Joker. And movie adaptation was the Jack Nicholson Joker from 1989. And this, I think he looks freaking terrifying without the makeup. The makeup is cool and all, but he looks freaking terrifying without it, with that surgical smile permanently attached to his face. I think he's just a little more wacky than the other Jokers I'm finna be discussing. But he was overall a good Joker. If I was to rate him, it would be a 9 out of 10. Still, Jack Nicholson is legendary. Another Joker I want to cover is the Dark Knight Joker. And I think this is the Heath Ledger Joker. And it's the one from The Dark Knight with that funny hospital scene. I think this Joker is pretty wild in terms of antics. I mean, he robs a bank and all. I think he also blows up a school bus. I know he blew up a hospital. And he's your overall regular typical criminal doing crazy criminal things in the criminal rampant city of Gotham. The next Joker I want to cover, which is my least favorite Joker. I think this Joker was freaking terrible. The Suicide Squad Joker. Cause, dude, I mean, he was just straight up bad. He was trash. He was horrible. Jay Leto was bad. Dude, you know it's bad when even Teen Titans Go roast you. And you Teen Titans Go makes fun of you. But that Joker, a bad Joker. I didn't like him. He didn't do much of anything. He didn't really do much. What? He didn't do anything. I mean, they had that one scene where he fell into the acid, fell in love with Harley Quinn, and drove in a cool car and whatnot. That's about it. Didn't get no action going. I mean, except for at the end when he was in that helicopter. But Joker was lame in my opinion. The Suicide Squad one at least. Now, here's my favorite Joker of all. This is the one, my favorite Joker, and in my opinion, is the best Joker. He's peak. And it's the Arthur Fleck Joker. And I think it's because he's more grounded in reality. Like, he's not some psychopath with access to tons of explosives. He's more grounded in realism. Because I mean, if you think about it, this could be the average guy who feels like society just treats him horribly and he just falls off the brink and goes into insanity. And I think they did a great job with his Joker because they took his approach in a more realistic way. And I love that they made his laugh like blend in with, they made it more dark. Like, the reason he laughed is a pretty dark reason. And I think this is actually a real condition because he has a laughing condition that makes him laugh at inappropriate times, or he just laughs uncontrollably. And I love how you can see the pain on his face when he laughs, knowing he can't control his laughter. And people look at him strangely, like, oh, this guy's just a weirdo. But he has a condition, and he feels like in the crime-ridden city of Gotham, feels like the rich stay rich while the poor stay poor. And I love how it just all blends together to make a good film. And my favorite scene is when, and I love how him being a clown, like, it ties in with his occupation, like, it makes sense. He's a clown at the hospital. He's a clown over at the store holding up his sign. And society, like, from the kids jumping him in the alley, and then the drunk rich guys on the subway. Now, in my personal opinion, I think, those guys got what they deserved. But it's pretty freaking funny. And I think the funniest scene in the movie when he just snaps on the Bill Murray show. The Bill Murray show, he just snaps. You get what you freaking deserve. Just kills him on set. And yeah, this Joker, in my opinion, was a top tier Joker. I don't know much about the Gotham Joker or the Man Who Laughs Joker. Sorry, I didn't cover those. Matter of fact, now due to what I found, like, I think the Man Who Laughs is a pretty forgotten Joker. And I think he's the most terrifying Joker of them all. Because that creepy freaking smile on his face. It's freaking scary. And I never really watched the Gotham Joker. I don't know. I never really watched the Gotham Joker. I don't know much about it. Sorry. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. I will be dropping another video soon. I'll be dropping more videos. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.